So the shaila is it a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter?
No graduation in the Torah. And then upon mention the graduation to the Mechine.
Sommer hat schon
We have a crown through the summer also.
Huh?
We have a crown through the summer
You do,
too.
right? Okay. Yeah. Das ist again, yeah. Kann sein. Seid gesund.
So,
Yeah.
so Shaila says, is it a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter? It says, I always thought, you say, what's the biggest raya that that there's an Eibishter? So Ram says in the mitzvah there's you see Lida Shisha Matzirishin. It's a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter, and there's an Eibishter, and the Ravid doesn't argue.
And?
The Ravid doesn't argue. So I just thought that's the biggest raya that there's an Eibishter. Then I discovered, some people argue with the Rambam.
Not so simple.
Yeah, so what's the shaila? So obviously, Chas v'Shalom no means you have to believe in the Eibishter. The shaila is it a mitzvah?
Was it one of the tayyag?
Yeah, is it one of the tayyag mitzvahs? And is one of the tayyag mitzvahs? So what's the first klotz kasha that comes to the head, that comes to mind if you say there's a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter?
What's the difference you're saying? What's the mitzvah? If it's one of the tayyag, or you have to do it anyhow?
So if you say that it's a shad, that is a mitzvah, it's one of the mitzvahs in the Torah. So I'm saying there's a klotz kasha that comes to mind. And what's the Eibishter trying to accomplish with the mitzvah? Usually the Eibishter is telling you to do something, not to do something. The Eibishter wants something from you. He gives you a mitzvah to believe in him. What's he accomplishing? Is he giving to the mitzvah, mitzvahs to people that believe in him, or the people that don't believe in him? Who's he talking to? If he's talking to people, so the people he's talking to, they believe in him.
They already, yeah.
Yeah, the people who don't believe in him, so what's it going to help? So it's machlekes rishonim. So the Rambam, one of the interesting things is also the lashon of the pasuk. Does it say that it's a mitzvah? No, but not to believe. Right, so that's a leisa saying. But to learn how to ask it, there's a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter. The lashon of the pasuk is just Anechi Hashem leikecha. It doesn't have a lashon of a tzivui. So the Rambam says it is. The Rambam Sefer Mitzvahs in the first Maramakim says, "Ha mitzvah harishona hi hatzivui asher tzivanu lahamin halikos." To believe in the Eibishter. But who shenamin sheisham ila v'siba? There's someone who created the world. Who poilachol hanimtzois, and he brought everything into being. Who amrei sparichan anechi Hashem leikacha. This is what the Eibishter says. Anechi Hashem leikacha. I am the Eibishter. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out is there a mitzvah to believe in Hashem? So that everyone agrees that obviously you need to believe in Hashem, but is it a mitzvah? The Rambam, we just read the Rambam. The Rambam says it's.
No.
The Rambam says it's one of the tayyag mitzvahs. So where does the Rambam get this from? How do we know that it's counted as one of the mitzvahs if it's not worded as a mitzvah? So the Rambam brings a Gemara in Makkos. The Gemara in Makkos says, how do we know there are 613 mitzvahs in the Torah? So we learn it out from the gematria of Torah. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Moshe commanded us Torah. So what's the gematria of Torah? So the gematria of Torah is 613. So does that taka add up? What is Torah? Taf and Reish is 600, and Vav and Hey is 611. So the Gemara asks the Shaila, how do you get to 613? It's only 611. So the Gemara answers is no. 611 we heard from Moshe. But Hanechi and La Yelacha, Nech Hashem Leikecha and La Yelacha Lechim Achedim, that we heard from the Eibishter himself. So 611 plus the 2 we heard from the Eibishter, you have 613. So he goes, read inside. It was safe Gemara Makis, Amru. Tayyag Mitzvahs never Moshe Sinai. 613 Mitzvahs. Ma'ikro. From where do we know this? Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. Moshe commanded us a Torah. Kalema Minyan Torah. The Hikshuaza, the Gemara asks, Amru Torah b'gematria hachi havoi. This is the gematria of Torah. Shismei avechad sari havoi. The gematria of Torah is 611. V'hoisa tshuva. The Gemara answer Anechi v'leiyah pia gvura shamim. The 2 mitzvahs of Anechi and Leiyah Lecha we heard from the Eibishter Alein. So therefore it ends up as 613. So the Rambam finishes off. Hine kvar hizvar lecha ki Anechi HaShem Niklal sheish meis v'shalish hasim mitzvahs. So you see that Aneichi and Le'yelecha is one of the six. Aneichi Hashem Lekech is one of the 613 mitzvahs. Siva b'emuna k'meisha b'yarnu, and this mitzvah is to believe in the Eibishter. Right, so the Rambam brings the Shakir Raya. It's the Klar Gemara that says that Aneichi is one of the Tayyag mitzvahs. So even though it's not worded as Lashon of Tziva, but you have a Klar Gemara.
That's why the comments, right?
So who argues with the Rambam? The Bahag, the Baal Hilchos Gedolos that Ramban brings down, argues with the Rambam. He says this, you can't count believing the Eibishter one of the mitzvahs. Why? So the Ramban says he thinks the reason why he argues is because what are the mitzvahs? The mitzvahs is how you serve the Eibishter. It's what you do, what Hashem wants you to do or not to do. Believing in Him isn't something you do to serve Him. That's the whole foundation of serving the Eibishter. That's the whole foundation of Yiddishkeit. It's not part of the Taryag mitzvah. Taryag mitzvah is how you serve the Eibishter. This isn't the way you serve the Eibishter. This is something you have to do. That's in number 2. The Ramban says, "The inkol zer isi l'bal halachis shlo yimno isa mitzvah b'chal taryag." He doesn't count believing the Eibishter as one of the Taryag mitzvahs. V'hanir midaitei, and it seems that what is his opinion? Shabal halachis
all day long.
she'ein minyan Taryag mitzvahs el gzeiros of yis'aleh she'gazar aleinu lasis minainu la'shalei naseh. That Taryag mitzvahs are only mitzvahs that Eibishter either told us to do something or not to do something. Like this, that He revealed to us that He exists, but begili hashchina le'inenu hu ha'ikar v'hasherish shemimenu noldu ha'mitzvahs le'yimne b'cheshbeinon. It's the whole yesed of all the mitzvahs. Doesn't become counted as one of the mitzvahs. The chut hashidrel, that holds up the hope of the person's body, is not counted as one of the yivarim. So he said, believing in the Eibishter isn't a mitzvah. It's not how mitzvahs are how you serve the Eibishter. What the Eibishter wants you to do or not to do. Believing in the Eibishter, that's the basis of everything. So what's that's his raya. The Medrash. The Gemara says that the king came and asked the what's one of his gzeiros. He said first chila kabel malchusay, and then v'mekabel gzeiros. So you find that Ramban Taka brings that Medrash. That's why he says the Vahag brings a raya.
And then goes the mitzvah.
You see, it's two separate things. First is kabel gzeirei, kabel malchusay, and then kabel gzeiros. Yeah, the Ramban Taka brings that. So what are you going to do with the Gemara in Makis? The Gemara in Makis says that Aneichi v'Le'yelecha are two of the Taryag mitzvahs, and we heard from the Eibishter. So what he answers, he says Aneichi is not one of the Taryag mitzvahs. Well, see, even according to him, Aneichi isn't the first of the Sesa Divris. According to the Baal Hilchos Gedolos,
It's not the first.
no, Le'yelecha is the first one. What about the Gemara? How come the Gemara says Aneichi Le'yelecha here from the Eibishter? Why does it say Aneichi if Aneichi is not a mitzvah?
It's one of the 612 and 13.
Yes, he says it didn't mean to say Aneichi is a mitzvah. Why did it say Aneichi? Because how do we know the first two were heard from the Eibishter and not the rest of them? He says from the diak of the Lashemis, Aneichi Hashem Leikecha, who's talking? Moshe Rabbeinu or the Eibishter? Aneichi Hashem Leikecha, it's the Eibishter talking.
Right.
It's all Vaita the Eibishter talking. And then Vaita, the Lashon the other mitzvahs, and Leisis Hashem 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 Leikecha Lashav. All the other Aseret Divris are all talking. So it's Moshe Rabbeinu talking. So don't say the Eibishter's name in vain.
So how does the Gemara count it as 12 and 13 according to Baal Hilchos Gedolos?
So according to Baal Hilchos Gedolos, Le'yelecha is split into two. There's a mitzvah of Le'yelekimachin Le'saseh Pesel. There's the issue of not making avodah zaros, and then it goes weiter V'leisi Shtacheh V'Elohem. So he counts it. So how does he count it to the Aseret Divris if Aneichi Hashem Leikecha is not a mitzvah? So Taki counts. He splits up into two. There's Le'saseh Pesel and Le'isi Shtacheh V'Elohem. So according to the Baal Hilchos Gedolos, we're going to have to change the pareiches on the Sefer on the Aron Kodesh. In his shul, the pareiches in Baal Hilchos Gedolos shul on the luchos it said Le'saseh Pesel and Le'isi Shtacheh.
Right.
I said, why does the Gemara
You're
maki?
saying it as a joke, or you know it's fact.
That's a joke.
Go ahead.
There's what and what about the Gemara? The Gemara, and why does the Gemara say Anechi HaShem Anechi Lecha? Didn't mean to say Anechi is one of the mitzvahs. Just meant to say that's how we know the Eibusher said it from Dirka the Lashon of Anechi. So that's in the second half of
Anechi,
2.
the Eibusher said the other two
So
things.
Eibusher is talking. Yeah.
Anechi, I said the other two.
Yeah, from the words of Anechi and V'layeh
Not that
Lecha.
Anechi is one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
Well, Ladas Hazu, Masha Omer B'Tshuvas Hashayla Toito, that Sheish Meis Ve'echad Osar Havi, and in some of the world of Gavatir, Toito 611, and Anechi V'layeh Lecha Mipi Agvura Shalom, and that we heard from the Eibusher. Hidiyu, it's coming to tell you, Ki Ad Kana Dibris Mipi Agvura. Muvanis Lekulam. It means he's coming to say that until now, until here, the mitzvahs is the Eibusher talking. Kasher Hein Boshim Medabra Al Atzmei, since it's a lashon that the Eibusher is talking about himself. At Anechi HaShem Al Ponai, Elachim Achim Al Ponai. Ki Anechi V'Shar Hadibris B'Loshin Navi Metargim B'Neim. Yes, and Al Ponai Ki Anechi and the Shar Hadibris, other mitzvahs are all it's a lashon of a Navi being teaching, talking to them. Fine, Aval Kavanah Mipnei Mitzvahs Hadibur. Hadiver Hasheni Shehi Mashlim Saminyan. Amen. The kavanah is that there's it doesn't mean to say that Anechi is one of the Taryag mitzvahs. Just
one
to
of the
say
Anechi is to tell you about the others.
yeah. You see, it's coming from the Eibusher, and the two ones we heard from the Eibusher, Leis Hasel Chafesel and Leis Yishlachavim. So this is the shit of the Bahag. Bemis the Ramban himself Taka holds like the Ramban. He does count that as one of the mitzvahs. The Ramban himself does hold like the Ramban.
Oh,
He does count that as mitzvah. He's bringing you the Bahag. And so this is so the Bahag says the lamp of leading the Eibusher is in the mitzvahs. That's the aside of all the mitzvahs. It's not a part of serving the Eibusher. And one of the other tightness, another beer on the Pirush on the Sefer Mitzvahs, Leis Sameach, he says part of the tightness that people say it's not a mitzvah is because it's not worded like a mitzvah. Anechi HaShem Leikecha. It sounds like just an introduction. The Eibusher comes, I am your Eibusher, and then he starts telling you what to do. In number 3, he says, Mikol Makim, one yesh ladas. You need to ask a question. She'im Anechi hi mitzvah, haitzer ru'uya lavi b'derech tzivui. If it was a mitzvah, believing the Eibusher is a mitzvah, it should have been like in the worded as a command. Like it should have said Da Shanechi HaShem Leikecha or Shema Shanechi Leikecha. Then we would
action, right?
Then we would know it's a mitzvah.
Action oriented, right?
He wanted to be subtle with us on that part.
He wasn't subtle with the rest of them.
So you want to. So the other Mefarsh in the Ibn Ezra, he also says the Eibusher, it was just his opening words. It was introduction.
Even though he had a mountain on top of us when he asked us, right? Subtle.
Mm-hmm. So. Lashin Zed Anechi, any Lashin Tzivi. It doesn't sound like a command. A Lashin Heidav Sipra, the Eibusher is just telling us, by the way, I'm your Eibusher. And this is a tiny some of the first, and they say it's only Hagdama, it's not one of the Sarsa degrees. And so what does Zifar infer? So he says, how do we know it's a mitzvah? He says, no, you can't say it's just introduction. So what's going on? You didn't know the Eibusher talking to them. The Eibusher didn't know the Eibusher took them out of Mitzrayim. The Eibusher took them out of Mitzrayim. They had Kriyas Yamsuf. They had all the Makris. And the Eibusher didn't told them they're coming to get the Torah. The Eibusher needed to introduce himself. By the way, hi, you remember me? I'm the Eibusher. Obviously, they knew it was the Eibusher. Obviously, you have to say it was coming to mitzvah. He goes in the second paragraph. He says, "V'ani Omer she'im zeh heidahi ein tzichul gufa." If the whole point of an Eichesh and Nekech is just introduction, so we don't need this. The Eibusher, they were already told from the Eibusher Ali Yidei Moshe, the Makim HaRayilah, when in this place, Shehu Kashetziva Leimar, Shereitza Hu Yisbrach Lasis Lehem HaTorah. The Eibusher, Moshe Rabbeinu already told you that the Eibusher wants to give them the Torah. So the Yidden knew it was the Eibusher talking to them. It wasn't someone else. Why did the Eibusher have to give them an introduction? So yes, he says you can't say it's just an introduction. It's not worded as a lashon. We're not worded as a mitzvah. So he says it's not. He says there are other mitzvahs which aren't worded like that. What's the first mitzvah in the Torah? What's the first mitzvah in the Torah? Achidush hazeh lachem. Kiddush HaChidush. That's the word. Chidush Hazel Lachem Reish Chadashim.
And it doesn't say action
It
there.
doesn't say you should be Mekadosh the Chidush. There's no command. It just says Hachidush Hazel Lachem. It's just like over here it says Anechi Hashem Leikecha. It says Hachidush Hazel Lachem. See, he says, you see, and not everyone agrees that Kiddush HaChidush is one of the Torah mitzvahs.
Oh, really? Because of that?
Everyone counts as one of the Torah.
Oh, everyone does.
Counts it as one of the Torah
I didn't know one
mitzvahs.
argues.
No one argues. It's just like over there wasn't an issue. He says over here it shouldn't be an issue either.
So this is what the Rambam says, that Anochi Hashem Kechel is Leida Sheyesh Lekah.
Yeah.
So the other people hold is just say duh. And they don't. You know that there's Yesh Lekah from other places.
We know there's we know obviously.
But,
we know
but
there's
the Rambam saying that it's Leida Sheyesh Lekah. There has to be knowledge.
Everyone
not
agrees.
Not enough Amunah. It has to be Leida. So how would they learn
That's-
that?
That's a separate discussion. Is it to know or to believe? We're going to get to that soon. But everyone agrees you have to know there's an Eivishter. The question is it one of the Torah mitzvahs?
Right, everyone agrees. The question is it an introduction or is it one of the mitzvahs?
Yeah.
To know that there's an Eivishter. Okay.
And then do the mitzvahs. And then do his mitzvahs.
No, because Chassidus explains that Leida is to have the knowledge. It's just not an informational
it's even
piece.
more. It's even more.
It's not an informational piece. It's a knowledge piece. I mean, you have to understand. You have to be able to rationalize it. Anyways,
To help with your belief.
So we're going to get to that soon as the
In
mitzvah.
order to believe properly, you have to lay the.
We're going to get to that soon as the mitzvah to know the Eivishter or to believe in the Eivishter. Leida or Lahamin. That's what we're going to get to soon.
okay.
Before that, we have there's a Sefer HaShem from Chazdei Karashkash. So he's one of the big Chikrim Yisrael, and he brings up the Shaila. He also argues. He brings up the Klutz Kasha. How can you say there's an Eivishter commanded us to believe in him? How can you command someone to believe you if they see you when you're speaking to them? So obviously they know you exist. If they didn't hear you speaking to them, they don't believe you exist. So what's the commandment going to help?
What existing? So what's the question?
He says, well, how could the Rambam say there's a mitzvah to believe in the Eivishter? Who is Hashem commanding? The people he's talking to? The people already know they exist?
But
The people already know he exists?
They know he's there.
Yeah, so you mean on those people
If
who
there's
say
a mitzvah, so first
the
there has to be
mitzvah
an
of
Eivishter
what?
who's commanding you.
The mitzvah of what?
The Rambam says there's a mitzvah the Eivishter commanded us to believe in him.
Believe in him. Yeah, so that's something else now.
So how?
Knowledge is one thing.
To believe that he's God. Believe I'm God.
So if I don't tell you that, how do you know that? Because you
You're
see
there
me?
speaking.
So it doesn't mean that I say he's God.
They know the mitzvah is to know that there's a creator who created the world.
And how do I know? And
If
how
the
do-
Eivishter is talking
I
to
know
you,
that without no, but I don't know that's the person. I could hear a lot of voices.
you don't know it's the Eivishter. The Eivishter
Just
talking to you.
because you're getting these,
Voices.
Most people don't hear too many
I hear a lot of
voices.
voices.
He's saying those that heard know, and those that didn't hear, how could you tell them to know? They weren't
Yeah,
there.
they never heard it. What's it going to help to tell them? They didn't hear the Eivishter.
but 1 second, but we all heard.
Right, so you're
That's
saying...
the point. If we all
so,
heard,
yeah,
we all
so
know.
what's the
Why
point?
does
So
he have to
people who
tell us?
heard, people who aren't going to hear, they don't believe in him. What's it going to help?
And if we
This
were all
is-
there and we all heard and we all know, then she doesn't have to tell us.
This is in number 4.
He knew his partners, okay? He knew what we were.
He said number
Had to
4.
tell us.
Number 4, he writes, he says, "Shetatos gemura mishamana nechi Hashem lekech b'mitzvah." Someone counts as believing the Eibush as a mitzvah, they made a big mistake. He said, "Why lefisha mitzvah hi min hamitzdanef?" In order to have a mitzvah, you first need to have someone commanding you. First has to be the person commanding you, then he could command you. And you can't have a tziva, you can't have a command unless you already have this hanacha that there's a Eibush once you believe that once you believe that there's a Eibush who is going to command you, so you already know that, you already believe in the Eibush. Before,
A good mashal is a king telling you commandments. The king's telling you, I'm your king. Without that, you wouldn't know, and now you do know. Because he said he's the king, that's making you know he's the king.
yeah, someone comes
You
and tells
either know it or you don't know it.
And how would you know it?
David?
You know it because you know everything he did.
No, it's like this. Oh, I didn't know he meant me. I thought he meant him.
One thing's for sure, a king telling you
What?
I'm
Say
your
that
king
again?
is not making you
What?
believe
Say
he's
that
the
again?
king because he's telling you he's the king.
You don't
Really
understand.
really not fair.
Oh, he didn't mean me. He meant you.
So Rashi actually says that's why it says Anechi Hashem leikecha Why doesn't it say Elikecha and yours? Why is it Lashon Yachid? So he said they even left room for Moshe Rabbeinu to say the Yidden. When Moshe had Tainus, I gave the Yidden a mitzvah, and they already went and they served the Egel. They already did Avodah Zarah. So he said, what do you mean? You're speaking to me.
Right.
You were talking to them.
Good.
The Ramban.
Moshe is good.
Well, that's what he used. That's the defense he used.
So this is the time. Yeah. So what are we? So how are you going to find for the Rambam? So first, the question we had before is taka strange. If it's taka mitzvah, why didn't the Eibusher word it as a commandment? Why is it just derech sipur? So the Maral he gives two biurim. One nice vart he says that usually what would happen? The Eibusher would say all their mitzvahs. The Eibusher says don't do avodah zarah, you should keep Shabbos, don't be mechal Shabbos. Usually the mitzvahs the Eibusher is telling you to do something, and you have the choice to do it or to not to do it. So therefore, when it comes to the mitzvah that Anechi HaShem leikecha, you don't have a choice. Even if you don't like it, the Eibusher is still your Eibusher. So that's why the Eibusher didn't say give you. The Eibusher didn't write in a way of lashon out tziping. So even if you don't want to do it, it's still gonna have. It's still your Eibusher.
It is the way it is. Right.
You can't be peirik el. The Eibusher is the Eibusher whether you like it or not. This is number 5. He says, "Umashli Omar Nechi Eyelcha Alekim." I should be your Eibusher when lashon of a command. Ki hoyazeh mashma ki mitzvah zeis kamei mitzvahs. So then it'll be mashma that the mitzvah Anechi HaShem leikecha is just like the other ones. Like kamei she'omar lo yilcha alekim achenu apanai. You shouldn't make other Eibushers. You shouldn't serve idols. And the person has the ability to make idols and worship them. When it comes to believe the fact that the Eibusher is your Eibusher, so even if you're not Makal, the Eibusher is your Eibusher, he still is your Eibusher.
Yes, the Eibusher is telling you how it is. Who malkim it says that's me.
Yeah. Say it is a mitzvah, but the Eibusher is not telling you should do it because he can't do anything of that. He can't change it. That's how it is.
We're saying more over here. Even if you take upon yourself a different person, I am still your king.
The Eibusher is still your Eibusher. You can't get away from him. On the other side of the page, you know that a person shouldn't make this mistake. As a part that person could be peirik el from the Eibusher. Regular nation people could be peirik el from the Eibusher. By regular melech until he's not the king on him. Therefore, in order you shouldn't think that. That either way, the Eibusher is always going to be a melech. You can't do anything about it. So that's one beer he has. The second beer he has is similar to what connected with what the HaShem said before. He said it doesn't say lashon tzivei because you already fulfilled it. Why did it say why is it not worded as a command? Because you already fulfilled it. It's not something the Eibusher is talking to you. Obviously, you already believe in the Eibusher. It says, "Ki b'dibur Anechi HaShem leikecha shu kabbalah selikusei u'malchusei aleim le'yem kabel Eibusher's malchus le'yishayich v'zet tzivu gzeira she'imein hu melech v'leikeihem le'yishayich gzeira aleim ki ein geizer gzeira elim kein hu melech kedam achar geizer gzeira." Actually, that's a different word.
First has to be I'm your king. Then I could give you Xeris.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's a different word. It's not the word of the HaShem. The word is first the Eibusher. First the Eibusher has to be a melech. Right? So the first, this is the aside of all the mitzvahs. So it's not lashon of exedus because first the Eibusher needs to be our king.
But isn't all this apply applicable to the people who were in the time of the Matan Torah? Now, we were all there, but yeah, but it's different.
What are you going to say? I don't remember?
My Hashem was there. Okay.
But
The mitzvahs are for our neshamas and the mitzvahs for our guf.
But the Eibusher was talking to Yid and then, so that's why the Eibusher worded it in such a way.
Okay, there's something to ponder upon, that's it.
Ponder this, you could non-stop ponder.
In Cain, and if the Eibusher is already the melech, so he doesn't even say kibbul malchusay. Shai kvar melech aleim is already the king. You should know, Shani melech shelchem, Makach Cain tasu kabel malchusay. Therefore, this is what you should do to kabel my malchus.
Especially then, even before the Ani Hashem Elokechem, the Eke and Eloke Avoseichem. We know that there is one God, and that's the God. And yet, the Anoichi is not Moisif. That's the Chazdai brings. It's a Iker because it's a Etzem Ikarim. But there is not the Tzivui because we had God before. We didn't have Shabbos. We didn't have the Inyan von Erve. Only the three first Erve, but the Inyan von HaShem. Eloke Avoseichem, Eke Asher Eke. Everybody, all the time, we know that's what we are called. We call Ephraim. We believe that's the Achdus come from that we believe in one God.
Yeah, that's the shit of the HaShem in the Baha'i.
The Chazdai is very marich on that. That the Anoichi is mitzvah v'aminu b'Hashem Moshe Avdei on the Torah. Anoichi Hashem Elokecha is mitzvah the Torah. It's a gilui of Hashem Havaya mitzvah the Torah, nicht mitzvah the Etzem Atzmut from the Yibishter.
So that's the Maral. The Taki says it is one of the Asars of Divis. It is one of the mitzvahs. He's being master. Why is it worded in a way
the
of
mitzvahs of Torah?
Why?
Yes,
It's one of Tayyik mitzvahs. Why is it worded in the as in Lashon of Anoichi and not Lashon of Tzivah? He says because it's the state of everything.
But the Chazai said that mitzvah the Emunat Elokut was.
He Tainus is not even a mitzvah. Chazdai.
Of course not, because it's the Ikar Ikarim.
Yeah. So getting back to the Shaila, how could you have a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter? Right, so the Chazdai Tainus, you can't have a mitzvah to believe in the Eibishter because obviously, it's like, who's he commanding? Obviously, everyone already believes in the Eibishter. So there's a few different biurim. Sefer Kina Seferin, also the biur on the Sefer mitzvahs. He Tainus that the mitzvah wasn't to them. They obviously believed in the Eibishter. They saw the Eibishter. They had Kriyas Yamsuf. The Eibishter came by Har Sinai and spoke to them. Rather, he says the mitzvah is for the next generations. Your children who didn't see all this, you should teach them that there's an Eibishter.
Oh, so that's what the way that Rabbi Elmer's going. He's worried about the children.
He says that's what the mitzvah is. Yeah, you hear it? The Kina Sefer, he says, and it,
That guy brought it into the world, that's why I'm able to say it.
So that's in number 6. He says, "Va'amina." I'll say the ain't suffix shahaya yedu aboru l'chol yisrael amitas mitzios halikay yisvarech. For sure, all the either knew about the Messias of the Eibishter Yisparech Shmei. But even shalei hayamakam nistatik. There's no room to have any speakers. Va'alzen is chadish v'yatzi. Va'alzen is chadish hatziv v'yanei cheshan l'kecha. Well, what was renewed? What's the chadish in the tziv v'yanei cheshan l'kecha? Kedei sheyachashiv l'mitzvah sa'asya l'kayim b'neihem zeisamuna b'shalim b'shalim shebifnim the mitzvah, the command was the mitzvah that you should teach it to your children. That's what was nischadish over here. And he says that's also like this. It also fits nicely with what the Sars David starts off. That the Eibishter spoke to the Yidden Lamar, right? What's the Lashon?
Still, there's no
Lamar. What's the Lashon Lamar? Lamar usually means to tell it over to no, not Siva, but Lamar means to say it over to someone else. Right, but the Shai say it over to who? All the Yidden were there. Who are they supposed to say it over to?
Why wasn't it Belashon Tzivim?
Oh, so that he didn't answer.
Right.
He doesn't answer that. But he says the dig from Lamar is to see that the mitzvah is for the next generation. He says, "V'haini d'chsiv v'yidaber elikim es kol edle." Lamar saying why the kol Lamar is la'achedi mashma. He talking ze. So one can say b'dibur Lamar. He talking ze b'dibur Hashem and Moshe. Moshe being if Hashem talking to Moshe, he say Lamar. K'di sheimar libnei Yisrael. On the hachal sheikh ze because all the Yidden were there. El hakavan he sheikayim uzay samuna b'yadayim u'b'yatzet tzayim.
Yeah, what's the word amun over here? There's no amun over here. It's the idea.
We're getting the Pashas Yediyah and Muna. You could say you mix it together. It's one thing. We'll get to it soon. I'm saying they're mechadik.
According to the King of Seifrim, if they were there and they had to give it over to the kids, they have to give over the kids the idea, not the amuna. They were there.
But you're Shayla, what about the Tzivah? So the Maram Shik, he says a similar word. He also says that the mitzvah is for the next generation. He says that's why he doesn't say Lashon Tzivah, because to the Yidden who are there, they already believe in the Eibishter. The mitzvah,
right? And
and it wasn't a Neichesh on Kech. It said Lashon Tzivah because for them it wasn't.
It was for them, for your kids.
Yeah, for the next generation.
For your kids, we have the lamer.
That's how the Maram Shik answers. We're gonna get to some. Okay, so we'll jump to number 8, the Barbanel. The Barbanel, he says differently. He says also he's bothered by the question, how could he say if there's a mitzvah to believe in the Eibusher? Obviously, if the Eibusher is commanding you, giving you commands, obviously you believe in him. He says the mitzvah is not to believe that the Eibusher exists. He says the mitzvah is, what type of Eibusher are you believing in? He says the mitzvah to believe that there's an Eibusher that has every shleimus, he has every greatness, every maila. He's mechuyev hametzias. He always was and always will be. He never changes. The mitzvah is to believe that what type of Eibusher you're believing in. You're believing in an Eibusher that has every shleimus, and so he's all great and all powerful. This is how the Barbanel teaches. And he's been this in the Rambam. The Rambam Sefer in the beginning of the Rambam, he says, he's paying on himself, everything is totally on him, he's not totally on anything else. He says this is the kavanah of the Rambam when it says in the mitzvah. The mitzvah is not to believe that the Eibusher exists. The mitzvah is what type of Eibusher are you believing in. The Eibusher has every shleimus, has no mindless, has no chesrenis, he's not totally on anything. This is number 8. He says, Aval kavanah sarav hagadol b'chol devarav hu. The kavanah that Rambam is ikar harishin v'hamitzvah harishina hu shenamin shalika baruch hu shekvar yadanu, who we already know about, shehu nimsa mitziusei, who he and that he exists. Shehu nimsa mitziusei hu hayeser rishin v'yeser shalim. His mitzius is the most first and the most shleimus that he could ever have. Asher b'chol hamitzius in all existence shemitziusei ene efsher mitzan asmei kietzer hanimsei. That his mitzias isn't just efshari hamitzias, meaning he happens to exist. He must exist. He doesn't rely on anything else. Abahu mechuyev hamitzias mitzad atzmei.
Yeah.
This is it's
not learning or knowing now that you knew this Eibusher that you knew. You have to know that he's mechuyev hamitzias.
He's not totally on anything else. He has every shleimus that could be. And this is before the Tzemach Tzedek in the Dechnes V'Secha, he brings this down and he goes a step weiter. He says he can't say this is the mitzvah either. The mitzvah to believe it. He says another reason why he can't say this mitzvah to believe in HaShem and even to believe that he's so shalom, he's so complete and complete in Messias. He says because that's something obvious. That's something there's something clear. Something you see. He says you can see from the Welt allein that there's an Eibusher. He says, right? Just like the person knows you have an neshama, you have ruchnis dekachayas.
So maybe the key is to think about it.
Okay, yeah.
You can't say it's natural to think about it. It's natural to know it, maybe.
Okay, very good. And so he says, he can't say. He says, how do you? Everyone knows they have a neshama. You ever saw your neshama? You never saw your neshama. You don't know what it is. You can't explain it. But everyone knows you're alive. You're saying, everyone knows flesh and bones, flesh and bone don't move around, don't talk, don't have feelings, aren't intellectual. There's a neshama doing everything inside, and that's butter. You don't need to believe in it. You know it yourself. So there's a emunah, something you're being makabel from someone. So you can't say this is pshat in emunah. So what it boils down to, the Tzemach Tzedek says there's 2 parts to the mitzvah of the Eibusher. So what it boils down to is the mitzvah to believe in the Eibusher, or is the mitzvah to know the Eibusher? What is the mitzvah? Believing or knowing?
Believe.
So
Knowing is higher.
Knowing is pnimi.
So
You know.
Knowing is
You know.
higher.
So what? You know. It's the belief.
what's the difference between knowing or believing? So the Rambam in Sefer Mitzvahs, he says the mitzvah is lahamin elikos. In Sefer Mitzvahs, he says mitzvah is to believe in the Eibusher. But in the Sefer Yad, the Rambam says lay down, to know. So what's the chiluk? So the mitzvah, so the Radbaz in the Sefer Mitzvahs David, he goes through all the mitzvahs and he's masbid them al pi kabbalah. Sitaka says these madrigas that the best way, the most minimal way in the kindness of believing the Eibusher is through emunah b'lvad. A higher, greater way is through yediyah, through proofs and knowing it and being able to prove it. This is what the Radbaz says. This is number 7.
What do you mean to prove it?
You
What are you proving it to?
You see this? You know it's there, right?
No, I
You
don't
don't
know.
you don't believe it's there?
I think it's there.
No. You don't believe it's there.
that-
You know it's
Rambam
this is
brings
here.
this.
The Eibusher, if you believe, you don't see the Eibusher.
You don't
So
understand.
therefore, either you know he's there, like this is here, or you know he's there, but you don't know why, when, where, and how, because you only have the belief.
It's difficult.
So this is in number 7. He says,
The fact that we're here is because of
Okay, so is that right? Well, that's a strictly already idea. Now you're giving a proof already of something.
I mean, it shouldn't be just a muni, you know, because this is what you were brought up with. The Emunah Pshuta, he says that's the most minimal level. He says then there's a higher level of Emunah. This is
Once
number
you start
7.
giving some rationalization, that's already you're starting with your D already, and that's the higher level. So
In number 7, he says, "Ve'inyan ha'emunah what's the meaning of emunah? Sheikava itza believa even after tamid. It should be engraved in his heart. Sheitzayer b'daitoi she'eshechil v'zeh b'shum sad. It's impossible to be different anyway. V'yimser nafshei al emunah. He should give up his life for it. Zehu lo'isem shlehi gilu madrigas ha'chachma. This is for people who didn't reach the madrigas of chachma, that they can't prove it. So they just go with emunah. V'heim aminim derech emunah k'mishara hadavar u'mamin b'in. They just believe like someone who saw something and they believe it, but they can't prove it or explain it. Then he says, and there's another way of being kind of the mitzvah emunah. The philosophers, they bring stronger ayahs and proofs. The proofs that for the Eibusher's Messias. And he says, this is the idea amitis. This is the shlemistic way of believing the Eibusher. V'lachin kasav bereish mishnah teira yisaid this v'amad ha'chacham is leida sheish al-matzir rishon. That's why the Rambam says that the mitzvah is leida to know, with proofs, not just emunah pshuta. Yeah, v'lei kasi doesn't say lahamin.
is this the same as David on the Tanakh?
No. This is the Radvaz. Yeah, it's different. Radvaz is sometimes say the Talmud of the Arizal, I think.
Okay.
So this is something. This is we'll see. Before that, you saw.
He was a Rav in Yerushalayim. He was against
Okay,
the
no.
Smicha, the time of the Mabit, Bet Elokim, the Mabit, and the Bes Yosef. He was before that.
Okay.
For the time and before the Arizal.
We'll believe you.
Okay.
The time and before the
Okay.
Arizal. He was a very old man. But he was very captain against them. So you see that way in Tzvas. He was the Radvaz.
Okay. So he goes on. Weiter. So Vaydish Derech Hacheres, and a third, a higher way of having an Eibusher. V'alei Chachma Pnimius Bavad. The people learn Chachma Sakabala. Hamun v'Hamefes Lisasek is Fanish Chubru B'Zeh. Gegoyin Sefer Aboyer and Sefer Yitzira. He says that's a high madrigas. He gets 3 madrigas in Emunah Hashem.
What's their madriga?
Saying when you're busy with Chachma Salaki, it's a lot hechra. It's much stronger Emunah. But this is, I'm saying, so this is what Adban says. This is Pashtus, I'm saying, from Svarach Hitzena, you would think that it's a lot stronger to know things strongly. But what about saying Chassidus Chava, saying the Rebbe is saying Chassidus is stark verkehrt that there's the Maila, there's the Koyach of the Emunah Pshuta. The Emunah Pshuta of a Pashta Yid, no one can argue with, and it's stronger, and there's no argument, it's higher than arguments. Even though it seems lower because there's no Seichel behind it, but it comes from the Etzem of the Yid. Well, it's interesting, there wasn't enough space on the paper, but there's a Sefer Mishnahs Chachamim from Leisha Chagiz. He's before the times of Hashem Tov, he's early. So he brings up this question: is it better? What's stronger, the emunah believing the Eibusher with rayas, or believing with the Eibusher with emunah pshuta? He says first he thought it's stronger to believe the Eibusher with rayas, because then if someone comes to argue with you, you can prove them wrong. Whereas the pasha person, he's not going to know what to say. But then he says he realizes fakert. He says really believing that emunah pshuta is a lot stronger because he can't argue with such a person. Someone believes in the Eibusher because he has rayas, so you can always upshlag the raya. Maybe things will change. Maybe you'll get a different raya.
This time it was a lot of Jews that were plunged in Kabbalah. The Moshe Chagiz. It was a big time of the Kabbalah Italian Kabbalim, the Ramchal and this.
But we'll learn that.
He said
That's why he said that.
We'll have it prepared.
No,
he says a very geschmack of art. He says, where did he realize this? He says he realizes.
We saw Ben Talmideinu, they were misasek in this, and they became worse. So he said, "Memele, the emunah pshuta is much higher."
So he says a very geschmack of art. He says he saw that the mothers, when they wake up with their kids in the morning, so before they give them what to eat, in one hand they're holding their kids, in the other hand they're holding a piece of bread, and they say, "Okay, before you eat, say with me Shema Yisrael." They say Shema Yisrael. He says, first cover your eyes and make sure you don't look when you say Shema Yisrael, and then the mother give them to eat. So he said, he never understood why the mother is making such a big deal about covering your eyes. The main thing is to teach on the psukim. Fine, we cover our eyes, they say, have more kavanah, but he never understood why the mothers made such a big deal about making sure they cover their eyes. And then he says, until he realized that his minhag and shal Yisrael teirahi. He says, what's the reason why you're covering your eyes? He says, is this Nakuda? When we're saying Shema Yisrael, believe in the Eibusher, we're covering our eyes because we're saying, I don't need to see it, I don't need to believe it. I don't need the rayas, I don't need to see it. I know there's an Eibusher and I don't need any rayas for it. He says, that's why you cover our eyes. That's a deeper meaning why we cover our eyes by Kriya Shema. And he says
I thought is when you cover it, you just block out everything.
So the Pashta, that's
true too.
the Pashta reason is in order that you should concentrate better. But he said there must be something deeper to it. Why are the mothers making such a big deal about it? Saying it's just a small little thing. He said there's something very powerful behind it. This is the Kudah. We don't need a rayas for why the Eibusher exists. And that's stronger than everything. Stronger than all the rayas.
You see how women are more important than the men. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not go down that road.
So this is what the Mishnah's Chachamim writes. It's going on weiter to the finishing over the birth of the Tzemach Tzedek. So the mitzvah is a mitzvah to believe. So this is the mitzvah to believe in the Eibusher, to know the Eibusher. So the Tzemach Tzedek says the fact that Eibusher exists, you know it, you see it from the veil. Obviously, there's a beating. So the Tzemach Tzedek is medayik that there's two parts of the mitzvah believing the Eibusher. Because sometimes the Rambam says lahamin, and sometimes it says leidan. So he says knowing that the Eibusher exists, his Messias exists, that the mitzvah over there is to be misbeinen, like you said, to contemplate about it. Obviously, everyone knows the Eibusher is there, but just knowing doesn't change us, doesn't make us do anything differently. The mitzvah of leidan, you have to be misbeinen. It has to be what everything in your life revolves around. And then what's the mitzvah of lahamin, to believe in the Eibusher? That's to believe that the Eibusher is completely beyond this world, meaning he's even beyond Shleimus. The Barbanel said that the mitzvah that you have to believe the Eibusher is Mechuyev HaMessias. He has every greatness and every Shleimus, and he doesn't come onto anything else.
Even higher.
He's beyond Shleimus. Shleimus, greatness, these are all creations.
The comparison to what's not Shleimus.
Yeah, meaning that there are Mailas, there's Chachma, there's power, there's greatness, and the Eibusher has every great thing. He says that the Eibusher is beyond that. There are no great things. All these things the Eibusher created. And he said that you can't understand, that you could only believe.
That's all limitations.
That's why
when you say those words, they're limitations. Right. That because greatness is a limit already.
Yeah, he said
that. You say beyond all that, so.
That's the number 9. We'll finish off. He says, "Omnam haraba misiyate Rabbeinu Yena v'siyate shamanu zeh b'mitzvah b'minyan mitzvahs." They count this as one of the mitzvahs. Time. What's the reason? Ki atzivu al hamakas hadas. The mitzvah to lay that to know the Eibusher is to be misbeinen. Ha'isbeines b'davar zeh ha'yedua she'azei takin tzivei. So here you could have a command. In knowing the Eibusher, everyone knows the Eibusher. You can't command someone to know the Eibusher. Ki gam shadavar yedua afal piki and im lo yisbeinen talmid v'zeh. If you don't think about the Eibusher, you don't learn about him. Yasiach daitei ledvarim achedim. You'll think about other things. Lo yoyel klum. Even though you just think about the Eibusher, ain't a klum. Yeah, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to change you. You think, oh, there's an Eibusher. You have to think about it seriously. you have to make sure it affects you. Then you open up your heart. You have to take it to heart.
Only a deer will make you HaShem.
So this is one half of the mitzvah. This is the mitzvah of Leida, to know the Eibusher. Then he goes on weiter. Then the mitzvah is also on the belief, on the emunah. Things that we can't understand with our knowledge.
First comes deep hasage, das, and then even higher.
Yeah, the fact that the Eibusher exists, the Alter Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek goes with the Rav Chazdai, that you can't say believing the Eibusher, that the Eibusher exists as a mitzvah. In Sefer Mitzvah he says mitzvah is to believe. Over there he says to know. The kol was a base dvarim because there's two things in parts in the mitzvah. Shem yediyas mitzvah haneda bedas. These are mitzvahs so the Eibusher that we can know, we can relate to that. There's a Bayrei, there's Eibusher, there's a Creator. He does all these wonderful things to us. For us, and then there's a believing that he's completely beyond being a creator. This we know that the Eibusher, we know the creator who does everything. He's completely beyond that. He's saying it's not. He's not just that it's not his mitzvah that he creates things and he makes things. He's greater than that.
Yeah. Let's put it into action now.
Yeah. That's